They looked like simple children's games, but they were designed for something much darker. In Squid Game, every round is a test, not just of survival, but of who you really are. This is the hidden meaning behind Squid Game's games, and one man may have known it all along. Why use childhood games in such a deadly competition? Because they're familiar, innocent, almost nostalgic. But that innocence is twisted, showing us the stark contrast between childhood joy and adult desperation. That contrast becomes the perfect stage to test human limits and expose our deepest fears. Let's start with the first game, red light, green light. At first glance, it's a simple test of stopping and going, but beneath the giant doll's cold gaze is a symbol of harsh control. A reminder of society's strict rules, arbitrary, unforgiving, and absolute. One wrong step means instant elimination. No warnings, no second chances. It mirrors how many systems in real life operate, where the slightest mistake can cost you everything. And the player's fear isn't just of death, it's of being seen, being judged, being punished without mercy. Now think about Gi-hun. He's terrified like everyone else. But he's also watching, learning, and as each game unfolds, a pattern starts to form. Next, the Honeycomb Game, a test of patience and precision or luck. Some players get easy shapes like circles, others get umbrellas, which are near impossible to carve without breaking. This unfair start reflects the real world, where not everyone begins on equal footing. Some are set up to succeed while others face insurmountable odds. The pressure builds as time ticks down and the fear of failure grows. Breaking your shape means death, a harsh reminder of the stakes at play. But this is also where Gi-hun starts to understand the nature of the games. He uses his tongue to warm the sugar and make it easier to carve. A small act of rebellion, a refusal to accept the rules as they are. Then comes Tug of War. But it's not just brute strength that wins here, it's teamwork, strategy, and trust. In a world torn by competition, the old man's wisdom reminds us that unity can sometimes defy the odds. The game also reveals the fragile nature of alliances. Even when working together, trust is never guaranteed. The moment people start to think about their own survival, that trust begins to crack. The marble game takes this betrayal to another level. Players think they're teaming up, but the game turns friends into enemies overnight. Ali's heartbreak, Song-woo's cold tactics, it's all a reflection of how capitalism pits people against each other, making trust a dangerous gamble. Meanwhile, Il-nam watches, unaffected. For him, this isn't a game for survival, it's entertainment. The rich gamble on lives as if they were nothing more than pieces on a board. And here's where something strange happens. Il-nam, who is supposed to be just another player, knows too much. He isn't afraid. He smiles when he plays, and his knowledge of the games, his lucky timing, it all starts to look planned. Next up, the glass bridge. Pure luck, or pure terror. Players cross fragile glass panels, some tempered to hold, others ready to shatter beneath their weight. The poor risk everything, while the wealthy sit comfortably watching the spectacle unfold. This game shows the brutal divide between social classes, where survival depends on chance and privilege. Let's slow down here. Think about how many people live on a knife's edge every day. One wrong move, a lost job, a medical bill, a missed payment, and they fall. This game isn't just about luck. It's about how society forces the poor to risk everything, while the rich gamble for fun. And then the final game, the Squid Game itself. A brutal physical contest rooted in Gi-hun's childhood. But everything's changed now. He's not the same man who entered. He's lost friends, seen betrayal, and realized the horrifying truth about the system he's trapped in. Gi-hun emerges the winner, but at what cost? He gains the prize money but loses his innocence, his trust, and much of his humanity. Even with the money, true victory is impossible. The trauma of what he's experienced shadows every step. He doesn't spend the money, he disappears. And eventually he returns, Not for the prize, but for answers. So why do these childhood games matter? Because they highlight how we're taught to compete from a young age. We're conditioned to see life as a contest, where winning sometimes means survival, but often means loss. Squid Game forces us to look at the brutal realities hidden beneath the surface of society. It's a mirror reflecting inequality, desperation, and the dark side of human nature. But here's what's easy to miss. Every game strips the players of dignity. They're reduced to numbers, pawns in a rich man's game. And Il-nam, he's not just a player, he's the architect. He knew the rules, he helped create them. And when Gi-hun refuses to play along anymore, when he turns back instead of boarding that plane, it's the final rejection of the system. He knew. He knew what the games really were. And he knew it wasn't over. So, if you were in Squid Game, which game would break you? Let me know below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories you thought you understood. Until you looked closer, thanks for watching.